How to destroy your plug-in solar kit in about 1 second. Some of you have some pretty wild ideas when it comes to plug-in solar, that's for sure. We're also going to be talking about if plug-in solar actually poses a safety risk to your appliances inside your house. Plus, if you have a solar-powered mini split, do we need to worry about rapid shutdown requirements? And can plug-in solar systems augment existing rooftop systems? All of these questions are going to be answered in our Community Questions Answered video. First question from plug-in solar just became possible almost everywhere with Mango Power S plug-in solar system. Would this system work similarly if you installed a NEMA 1450 outlet so you could use 240 volt power, making both legs hot for your solar? Or would it be easier to simply have one plug on each leg being fed from two separate plug-in systems? This is part one of a similar question. What if you installed a junction box and split off into both legs of your panel on an independent breaker? Wouldn't it split the load in between both legs, or would the smart inverter bug out? I would say blow up is more of the right terminology than bug out. So literally, the first frame of the video, you can see right here this lovely 120 volt plug. If you were to try to connect the single hot leg of your 120 volt plug-in solar kit to both sides of your panel, that is going to be a direct short between the two legs of 120 volt power that's 180 degrees out of phase, hence the 240 volt power, and something's going to blow up, and it's probably going to be your microinverter. So do not do that with a 120 volt plug-in solar system. If we go back to this part one question here, and they talk about plugging a separate system in to each side of the breaker panel, that is 100% okay, so long as it doesn't necessarily exceed what your state allows for you to connect for plug-in solar. So in my case, I live in the state of Utah, and they allow up to 1200 watts of solar connected to your house. So I could do 600 watts into one side of my panel and 600 watts into the other side of my panel and still be in compliance and offset both sides of my panel, right? And for those of you that have no idea of what I'm talking about with the two different legs of the breaker panel, etc., I will leave a link to a video where I explain that in detail. Or option two is just go with 240 volt plug-in solar. I have an entire video all about that I did. It even has a built-in limiting function as well. So I'll leave a link to that video down in the description that you can check out as well. Next question from plug-in solar just became possible almost everywhere. Would there be any concern for appliances with the Mango attached? For example, if a tree takes out my service line, would the 2 seconds of backfeeding damage the PC? I would say that the brief reaction time of a load shutdown would only concern me if I had a large solar system. I don't know. How many watts would be large? Thank you for the video. I want to utilize solar, but it's difficult when you are renting. I look forward to seeing how to use the battery storage with this similar setup. Yeah, I'm excited to show you the battery storage thing. That's going to be fun. Well, I have good news for you. The reaction time for if the grid power gets knocked out is actually significantly faster than the throttling. So the microinverters on the Mango system are fully compliant to anti-islanding technology. When grid power is lost, these Mango microinverters are going to shut their power off within 20 milliseconds of the power going out. And they're going to stay off until the grid power gets restored. And so going back to the question of, was it going to potentially damage your appliances? Probably not, because the additional power from the Mango system is only going to be there for about 20 milliseconds. For most appliances, that's just a little blip on the map that they won't even realize. So I personally don't feel concerned at all about, implications or damage that could potentially be caused to appliances. Is it possible? Maybe, but highly unlikely. Next question from my Don't Buy a Solar Mini Split Until You See This Cheaper Setup video. Someone in the comments mentioned about NEC rapid shutdown being required. Is that so? I'm new to the whole concept of power stations and solar. If the panels are only plugged into the power station, how would it cause potential for backfeeding? Can someone enlighten me on this? Thank you. So here's my solar powered mini split video, and I'm going to leave a link for it down in the description for any of you that have not seen it yet, because it's pretty epic. But basically what I've got is my mini split, obviously, and then I have these two giant 590 watt solar panels. And that solar power comes into my house and connects to my portable power station. In this case, it's the Blue Eddy Elite 300. And then this yellow plug right here is the power that feeds the mini split. So do we need to worry about the rapid shutdown requirement? Not to be confused with anti-islanding. We just talked about the Mango power systems being able to do in a grid down situation or whatever. Because anti-islanding for an off-grid system doesn't apply because, as you mentioned down here, an off-grid system would not create the potential for backfeeding at all. And we do have an off-grid system. That's what we've built with this mini split and power station combo. Rapid shutdown is usually a big red button somewhere on the outside of your house that like the fire department could hit if there was a fire burning in your house, and they'll know that that is going to shut the solar production down, so they don't run the risk of getting electrocuted or whatever as they fight the fire. Small portable systems like those connected to portable power station stuff usually are exempt from that requirement. Now, if it's going to be kind of a quote-unquote permanent fixture in your house, like powering a mini split heat pump would be, there's probably a gray area there where it's connected to a portable system, but yet it's sitting there 24/7 in your house. So what I would say is check with your local area and see what they recommend you do. It's very difficult to integrate a rapid shutdown system with portable power stations just because they don't have the contacts and stuff needed for it. Bigger systems, like you see right here, my big EG4 12,000 XP and stuff, it actually has, terminals and stuff ready to go to wire one of those switches to it. And it's very easy to, retrofit a rapid shutdown system into, more of this whole home power backup solution. So I'm not going to tell you yes or no one way or another. Check with your local area and you make a determination based on that if you should try to incorporate some kind of rapid shutdown or not. Next question from everyone asked for more plug-in solar. Here's what's coming. I have a 6 kW grid tie PV system. I rarely get more than 4 kW out of it even in full summer sun. If I got a microinverter and some cheap solar panels, could I export up to my max allowable power without needing to do anything else? The microinverter has its own anti-islanding protection. I don't see any problem. The second question, I have a 50 amp service to my shop subpanel. Can I install a dedicated circuit on the subpanel and have it feed plug-in solar through my main panel? Let's start from the end and work our way backwards. Yes, absolutely. If you have a subpanel, there is no problem at all adding a dedicated circuit to that and feeding the other panel that the subpanel feeds off of through that subpanel feed. And generally speaking, what you're talking about here is completely doable as well. So I happen to have a rooftop solar system. Here's my Solar Edge inverter right there. But if you look up here, and I'm sorry the YouTube thing is covering it, but up here at the top right thing, you might be able to see this little sticker on my electrical panel that says maximum AC operating current 32 amps. That is the maximum current that my system is permitted to feed into the electrical system. And so in your case, you should have your maximum AC operating current set to your 6 kW or whatever the system was permitted to, physically be connected with. And so if you're constantly, 2000 watts below that, and you have additional headroom in your maximum operating permitted, current, then yes, you can totally hook up a plug-in solar system and max that out safely because your equipment is designed and sized to handle that. You just don't want to exceed that at all. But if you're on a net metering agreement, the good news for you is that any of that excess power that you push back to the grid will give you credit and help offset your electric bill even more. And in fact, that's exactly what I do. I've got this rooftop system, but it's west facing, not south facing. And so it does not perform in an ideal fashion. It generates power, but it does not come anywhere close to the full 32 amp permitted amount. And so it's been fantastic having my plug-in solar kit augmenting that and banking even more credits that I'm totally allowed to do that my main system has never been able to provide me. Keep the questions coming in the comments, you guys, because that's what I draw from for the question and answer videos, and everybody has really been enjoying these videos. So I'm going to keep them coming, and hopefully you guys keep bringing questions to the table that I can answer. I'm going to have some epic video resources linked down in the description based on what I talked about in this video, so be sure and check those out. And then also don't forget that in the descriptions of all my videos, I have a place where you can book a one-on-one video consultation with me. That's been a winner for a lot of people. Get to rapid fire as many questions as you want in an hour period of time, or sometimes people want me to, review their system or look at their parts list or whatever. Anyway, There's been some real value for people received that I'm sure if you could ask all the people who have done it if they're grateful they did, I think you would find that the vast majority of them say yes, 100%. If you have just a single burning question that you want to get my personal response to, there's a link for you to be able to do that down there as well as a link to my custom YouTube channel search engine. All you do is type a query, so plug-in solar battery. Every older video that I've ever made that has anything to do with that, including timestamped results, will surface for you. Quite often, I've addressed people's questions in earlier videos. They just don't realize or know what video that information is in, and this search engine helps surface that for you. To take advantage of all these resources, down in the description. Don't go too far, you guys, because I'm on the bleeding edge of this plug-in solar technology, and let me tell you, there's some epic stuff in the pipeline coming your way. I'm the foremost YouTube channel that does plug-in solar content, and you are in for a treat coming up here in a little while. So be excited, stay tuned, stay safe, and we'll catch y'all next time.